Hi, and welcome back today. Today is a kind of a design style. Today I've got to come up with a knife style. I've got a commission on one. I'm out of the steel that the client wants, so I had to order it. Hopefully it'll be here in a little bit, and also out of lambskin. So I have got to do a sheath, a tough, burly sheath that one could theoretically slap a grizzly bear back into hibernation with, but do it and make it out with an outer shell, if you will, of ostrich. So, yeah, which is going to be fairly easy. I've got some tough leather for that. Yeah, and then I'll line it when I get my lining materials, and then I can cover all that. Normally, what I do is I make a sheath because the ostrich leg skin is pretty darn thin, and it's probably a 2-4 weight. That's 2 ounces to 4 ounces per square foot, and that's how that's gauged. I mean, you can get a number if you want to, but it's not even all the way through like that. I mean, it's close, really close nowadays with all the equipment that they got for clearing, but it's just the fact that the skin on the ostrich leg is like the skin on a chicken leg. It's not real thick. So, and I'm talking about from the knee down, from basically the end of the drumstick down to the feet, down to the little claws that down there at the bottom, and that's the skin they use. So, and it's the same thing on an ostrich, like that. Now, the rest of the ostrich is huge. They're big birds. I mean, Sesame Street got it right when they said big bird. Yeah. Only difference is these are not yellow. It's the males that are the black and white, fully plumaged. They do that peacock strut. Look at me, and the female is just a dull little bird. Smaller, but it's just a dull color to blend in with her surroundings as she nests and lays eggs. Then she leaves, and the male comes along and does the parenting duty. Okay, that's a little off subject, or a tangent. But anyway, I have to come up with a design, and like I said, meet certain parameters. So I've got a bunch of my kind of basic stock patterns here that I've got about different knife handle shapes and stuff. I ain't got them all, but I'll pick one out here in a few minutes and see what I can do with it. And I have to stay, it's going to be a 1/4 inch thick knife, but only 1.5 inches wide. That's what he wants. So, yeah, it'll have to be wider than that. I mean, to get 1.5 inches on the blade part and put the harpoon on there. So, I have went ahead and ordered the wider steel. I want to make sure that I get a good full 1.5 inch blade on it, and he wants a harpoon point. So if it sticks up another 3/8, that's fine. Or it is with me. Hopefully he'll like it. And I'm not going to do a flat grind on it or anything. It will be a saber grind. I'll do probably, I don't know, 3/4, half of the distance as a bevel, and which will be really steep, it being 1/4 inch thick. And I'll give it the convex edge like that right there, and do that, so it will be a real sharp cutting edge supported by a lot of meat. He wants it for batoning and being outside and using it, working it. So, but he wants a leather sheath, like I said, lined and covered in ostrich and tough enough to knock a grizzly bear back into hibernation. So I can do that. I can do that. I got. It's going, like I said, it's going to be a beast. It's what he wants. So that's what we're going to do. I have a harpoon point on a 6-inch long blade, and I've got to, and it'll have a good, comfortable handle. And I will do my best to maybe taper the tang a little bit there and give it some more strength as I taper from a quarter down to the point on it, and I'll grind everything that way to start with and get all that done. I'm drawed out and started, and as soon as I get it laid out, I will bring it back because it's on paper here. So be right back. Okay, it's the next day, and I apologize for not getting back sooner. I had grandfather duties, so that wins every time. So that trumps anything around here. So here's the knife design that we come up with. He wanted a pommel hammer on it. We got that. The slot I added, and he wants it without that, and that's no problem with that. It's just it's easier to put in something like this before you harden it than it is after you harden it. So just giving options, and like I said, it's his knife. I'm just making it. He wants it a certain way. As a custom knife maker, I do my best to make it that way. So anyway, there it is. He asked for a 6-inch or so blade. To get the lines right, it went out to about 6 3/4. That gives me about 2/3 of the blade at the full width that he wants, which is 1.5 inches. He wanted the harpoon point on it. So from the point back is about 2/3 of the blade length, give or take a little bit. So you're overlapping your 2/3. And that's usually the way I break down a blade, is do it in thirds, if I can. Now, I've got other knives that's nowhere near that still look pretty good and function, but now the reason I went that extra little bit is he wants this as a survival knife style. So with that, I'm going to put a little bit of bevel on the harpoon up here, and I'm going to harden it, but down into this area here, I'm going to clay, and I'm going to keep this area here back to the handle on here and down to above this saber grind. When I said saber grind, it's half of the width, it's 3/4. So anyway, but keep all of this in here soft because he's going to baton or whatever you want to call it. He's going to beat on it with another stick of wood to make kindling and stuff with, which is what he wants. So just in case that he uses something a little harder than a stick of wood, I'm going to make this area here soft. This will be hard, so you can use it as a flint and steel if you want to. So, and there'll be no jimping on this at all right here. They will be jimping on this about oh, probably about that long, inch and a half probably. Come back about a half inch on to the handle start, and because if you need to go back to grip and swing a little harder, you need your thumb back here. So that's where it starts, back here, just behind these two pins right here, and then it'll go forward to about there, and it will be the fine jimping. So I've got a file for that, where it's at. No, that's just a golf ball. Okay, it's here somewhere in all this mess that is my desk, and they ain't no telling what'll turn up if I ever clean it off completely. But anyway, that's that. Now all I gotta do is I know the materials he wants to use to make a sheath. I just need to know the style of it. I'll have I've laid out 2 different styles, and so far I've got one more to do, which will be a horizontal, which I don't think this would be, well, it probably would be okay as a horizontal, and that, so anyway, with that, and the types of sheaths right here, we'll do this one as be this one. Naturally, I'll trim around these corners right up through here, but it'll be straight across right here like that, and a little bit of the handle will stick up, and on the back of it will be a belt loop that will sew here, come up and back down to about where my thumb is. So like I said, and I will line most of this, well, I will line it all with with the lambskin. I had to order some. I'm out. I didn't realize I was that far out, but I am. I thought I had another piece tucked back big enough to do a sheath, at least one more sheath, but I didn't. I got little bitty pieces, so that won't do it. And then there is the fold over sheath that I have. There'll be no tacos sheaths made for this, regardless. So that's the reason I made all this out of cardstock. Yep. There. And it will come above the handle here a little bit, so it won't stick him, and this area right here will be the belt loop. So see, so I'll have the belt loop right there, and I'll come down about 3 inches with that, and stitch across with and this area that I stitch across here at 3 inches will have, well, it'll be covered in the ostrich too. So, and then I will come up on it. Once you do that, then you bring it in here right there, and you sew this last inch right here across like that, so that'll hold it. And if I need, and I will do the little step taper in for this as a loop to go over his belt, my belt loop right there. And it'll be sewed. Now I've went a little wide with my welting here. This is actually, so far, this is 11/16 wide. Now it won't remain that way, but I just wanted to make sure that you can always trim it down. It's hard to add to all the time, so I'd rather make it big and then lay it on the leather and actually try it. And then, like I said, I'm gonna do, he wants a sheath, and I don't blame him that that is tough as nails, that will be as tough as the knife. And so I will make that whatever style that he wants. There's another style, like I said, the horizontal, but I will put a snap on these to help retain it in there even more than what it will be anyway, because I'm gonna make it tight and then form fit it to it, but I'll put a snap on it. Now, with that being said, the snap, I'll have to find some longer snaps, and I'll have to order them, I guess. I've got regular snaps that's good for just, a little bit, but they're none of them's real tall that I have, so I need that. When I get that done, now the leather, I'm going to use a base leather. If you don't know, let me get it right here just for a second. This is just remnants right here, but we're going to be using some black ostrich. Yeah, right there. This is the ostrich. It is not thick enough, nor it's pretty pliable, and that's what it needs. This is something that needs to be on a backer. So we're going to back this. This is black. It's more kind of a gray black, but it is black. And I've got remnants right here, plus I got a couple of pieces that I can make it out of. And then I've got white or cream colored, wheat colored. So anyway, when I do that, I'll use this. I will cover the welting, and that's the reason I wanted to leave everything wide and cut it down after I lay the knife in there, and I can just see what's going to work the best and do that, and add the cover the welting actually with the ostrich, so you don't have to. Well, and I could just paint it black, and that may wind up being what I do, keep it from being so thick and bulky, but it's gonna be thick and bulky anyway. So let's see, what was, oh, a piece of leather. Hold on just a second. What did I do? Okay. There it is. Or some of it. Right there. Okay. Now, right here's going to be the base leather. And it's stiff, and it's about, well, just hold on, I'll tell you how thick it is. Flip. They do it in ounces, and they use the square foot method. I mean, when you see a leather advertised for a 2-4 weight, it means it's between 2 ounces to 4 ounces per square foot. That means it's thin. And when you go on up the scale and you go to like 10-12, then that's what it weighs, 10 to 12 ounces per square foot. They do it exactly like they do copper sheeting. Up till you get to a certain point, then it starts going by gauges up to a point, and it goes like 1/4 inch bar, 1/4 inch sheeting for copper or whatever like that. But up to a certain point, it's ounces, and the more ounces, say you get a like an 8 ounce copper, that's really thin, 8 ounces per square foot, all the way up to like 32 ounces. And stuff like that. It's pretty heavy. So anyway, This is do in millimeters some most of the time nowadays. It's not that I've forsaked the imperial method. No, I haven't done that. And so, but for stuff and breaking down in thirds and everything else like that, it's easier just to go ahead and do it in millimeters. So you do it just like it's a regular math problem. You don't have to work out fractions and thousands of fractions and everything else. So this is 4.5 millimeters, 4.5 millimeters thick. So like I said, this is going to be slap a grizzly bear back into hibernation tough when I get done with it. So anyway, like I said, I would bring you back in when I finalized the design, and the client has approved this design. So now all I got to do is get back with a sheath, what style, or I want it to get what he wants. So I hate to make something that he don't like, and I like them all, but basically that. And he said, that Kydex would be acceptable, I guess, if I didn't have the stuff for him to do with. But other than the lambskin, I've got everything I need right now. So other than that, I'll be ready to go on the sheath part right now. And I'm waiting on, like I said, I'm waiting on my lambskin, and I'm waiting on the steel for the blade for the knife itself. I have everything else. I'm going to do some internal pins, and what that's going to entail is just I'm going to drill into the back of the micarta scales a little bit, and I'll super glue a pin in, and I'll make matching on the other side. But anyway, put them in there so that it will be locked in with metal pins, that it will help with the shear strength and breaking them off. And they will be I'll have other big holes, weight reducing holes in the handle, so that the epoxy can migrate from handle to handle anyway. And then I'm going to be using some black micarta pins that I have to go with the black micarta to kind of give it a blackout. Now it's getting a paw print mosaic pin, and it will be stainless steel, so it ought to pop. Now the pommel hammer will be dipped, and as well as I'm going to dip the whole knife in ferric chloride. So once I get that done, it'll be really good. But I just try to, I try to make a knife that's gonna outlast your great grandchildren. So anyway, and this is a pretty design. I've got a similar design but shorter, and now honestly I like this one a lot better. The size and everything. It's just me personally. That's me personally. Don't care for a pommel hammer, and that's just me. I mean, is it good to have one? Yeah, I guess it is. Or have some way to break glass if you get it out. But I would have probably been, if it was mine, I would have probably drilled and tapped, since it's going to be a 1/4 inch wide, and tapped and put a small piece of carbide tip in there off of something, just a small tip, and dull it. You don't need, if it's carbide or whatever, ceramic or whatever like it don't have to be perfectly sharp. It's just got to come to a point and take all your energy and hit and go. So like I said, I'm not a big fan of this. Is a tool, but it's not a hammer. Now, it's not a hammer. This can be a glass breaker, but I don't suggest trying to build a house with it. Okay, because it's not a hammer. This is going to be thick, 1/4 inch thick. So, but it's still yet. It's not a pry bar. You know, and also it's not a screwdriver, Phillips or flat or straight. It's just not. That's the 3 things that it's not intended to be. But like I said, if you find the need, if you're hungry and you got a can of beans, open it with it, by all means. Got no problem with that. And it's going to be. And since he wants the pommel hammer, I'm not going to taper the tang. It's going to be a full straight through tang. So to keep the weight on this, I'll just have to, take it out of the middle a little bit more. But other than that, it's a good design. I like it. Like I said, I showed it to him. He's already in love with the paper copy of it. So, with that being said, all I got to do is get the approval on which of the sheaths he wants. Other than that, they're all going to be made out of the same base leather. If whichever style he decides he wants, they will all be made out of the same base leather that will be tough and will hold for years, centuries, hopefully. So, but anyway, that's that. When I have the definite on the sheaths, which is today is Sunday, I screwed up and sent him a text yesterday, which is Saturday. I shouldn't have done that. I just forgot what day it was. Anyway, because usually everybody, I'll leave the weekends alone. I don't want to inconvenience them. They could be out dinner or dates or whatever else. Doing fun things at the lake or wherever. So that's and like I said, I just forgot, and so I'll be texting him first thing tomorrow, and we'll find out whether or not which style of sheath he wants, and go from there. And this is what, it tickles me to death to make something that somebody wants that I can come up with an idea, or they can come up with an idea and I could put it on paper and get there and give them the measurements and everything else like that and get approval or not. That's the back and forth with the custom knife maker and a knife owner that wants a knife made the way he wants it. I'm going to turn this one off till I get the go ahead on the sheath, on what style of sheath is got. I can't make it till I get the till I get the knife pretty well made, but I can have an idea which way to go and get everything prepared for it. And that's the things moving forward each time, just trying to get the more ducks I get in a row, the better it works out in the long run. Even though I could screw any of it up, I could do the heat treat wrong, I could do the cold wrong, anything like that. So, but with this one, being how it's just a one-off, I'm going to probably just use dry ice on it and let it go for a couple of days like that. The liquid nitrogen would be better, but and I've got a 6-liter jug So, yeah, I may just go get a couple of liters of that. I don't know if they sell it just by the liter or what. I don't know. But if they'll sell it by the liter, I may just take my thermos and get about a liter's worth of it in the thermos in my Aladdin Stanley, or Stanley Aladdin, whatever it is. The green one, yes. They used to be really super good ones. Now, whatever. But that's about all I got right now. I'm just rambling. So, till next time, it's Bobby Shields saying, God bless.